Yep. Fellas, we here?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Somebody disappeared.
Good evening. Going up again for sure. We got some good dialogue. We got so much stuff we want to talk about, but I just want to give y'all homage all times. Just continue to increase these numbers. But first and foremost, as y'all notice, we don't got no females in here in the chat tonight. It's the man takeover. So I'm
The
gonna
boys' night
reintroduce.
out. It's the boys' night out
Yeah,
tonight.
an hour with the fellas. Yeah, so we're gonna get into it. I'm gonna reintroduce the guys again. I'm gonna start with Jay, and then I'm gonna work with Anthony, and then we're gonna go from there. Jay, you can go ahead and reintroduce yourself and get the guys a dialogue.
Yeah, I'm Black J, man.
Hey, what's going on, everybody?
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we here.
All right. My name is Black J. I come out of born and raised in Hollis, Queens. Man, I've been thinking about this conversation with you guys for since yesterday, man. I look forward to the dialogue. I know you're gonna talk about a few things. It ought to be an interesting conversation.
Absolutely.
I look forward to the feedback, man. I'm 44 years old now. I live upstate New York, a little past Woodbury Common, and coming onto this format. I mean, onto this
Platform.
platform to just
Hey, Jay, is that you in a little bit?
I didn't hear you.
Gotcha. All right, we here. I got you.
Yeah. Can you hear me now? You got everything, or?
All right, and you ready to?
I didn't hear you, bro.
Yeah, we got you, Jay. Man, you ready to tell people a little bit about you?
Me? Are you ready for me? My name is Anthony Munden. I'm an essential worker in New York City.
Yeah, can you hear me clear?
You can hear me?
Yep, we'll go.
You good?
I hear y'all.
You got me? Is my turn or?
Yeah, we good to go.
All right. My name is Anthony Munden.
Yeah, it's on you, man.
Yeah. All right. All right. My name is Anthony Munden. I'm 51 years old. I'm an essential worker I'm born and raised in East Harlem, New York. Now I live in Tobyhanna, Pennsylvania, 3 years. I can't wait to get this conversation started. So we got a lot. I know we got a lot to talk about, and I've been waiting all week for it.
Yeah, I can dig it. It's good to have you here, and I appreciate your presence again, man.
It's definitely good to be
Terry,
here.
you want to close out and give them the people an introduction as well?
So yeah, how you doing?
Absolutely.
I'm originally from Hollis, Queens as well, and currently living in East Southport, Pennsylvania. I'm an essential worker, as they call it as well, and so it is. And I'm 50 years old.
I appreciate it, Terry. Good luck, 50. We got a couple in the Century Club here. Half a century. I can dig it.
51
good
and a half.
to have y'all here, fellas. Grateful. Woo! I'm a little quarter in the tank, so I'm starting to feel that burden a little bit. Just to reintroduce myself as well. I'm the host, Kwame Knight. You guys can call me Q as well. I pretty much come from Suffolk, Virginia. Here in the 7-5. I was here last week, but just to re-go over it. Oldest of 14. In college, first generation college student. I have my bachelor's in sociology. Right now I'm in grad school pursuing my master's in community counseling. So that's just a few segments of me. But I'll get into a little more about myself as we continue to chat out. So the first thing I got on deck, fellas, I'll start with Jay, follow with Ant, then Terry. Fellas, what's y'all definition? in manhood and how y'all feel it played a role when y'all come up and it created that more content and them principles for you guys.
I need you to repeat that for me one more time, brother.
Yeah, there's some noise, some noisiness in the background somewhere.
TV or
Is
something.
that better, fellas?
Yeah.
I said, can you guys give me the definition of manhood and kind of go into how that played a role in you guys' upbringing and how you guys more and principal compass now is just created from that to current today, starting with
All right. My childhood, my father was active in my life. He was around, for the first 5 years. Then he moved to Virginia. He was still very, very active in my life. I was able to see him often. And being the fact that my father was 40 years older than me, it gives me a unique perspective on life because with him being 40 when I was born, by the time I was, 10 years later at 10, he was 50. So I think some of the morals and principles are, a little more old school. Manhood to me is being able to take care of your responsibilities, take care of your children, take care of your women, your family. You know, a lot of the time when we
salute.
grow up, we sometimes get caught up in street stuff and lose sight of some of the things we need to do as being responsible. I know for me, I was wild and reckless in the street, and my father was active. So, and there's really no recipe. I've seen men without fathers make it. I've seen men with fathers not make it. So, but for me, having an older father definitely gave me the values that show you always take care of home. You always make sure your children are taken care of. You stand up for yourself and what you believe in. And that's the core of it at the end of the day. Being an older dude, man, he's one of those old school fathers that got like the 25 in the pocket all the time. So by the time I was, he was 60, I was 20, and I was in the street, but
Absolutely for sure.
he still wasn't with it, man. You know what I'm saying? And he was really just about stand up for what you believe in. What's right is right, what's wrong is wrong, no matter what is going on. And I think that that's kind of thing that we kind of got to give to the younger generation, man. We got to keep in mind, try to really get through to them what's right and right, what's wrong is wrong, man. I think that there's a blur that just morals are not there. I think it's kids raising kids is really the biggest problem. And that's how I feel about manhood. And when you have an older father, you are
Sweet.
able to
Yeah,
do a lot of those things. What do you say, Q?
I like it. Hey, I got a quick question for you, Jay.
Mm-hmm.
I got a quick question for you. Now, when you say old school morals and principles, do you think that gives you a power struggle in today's society and how things are going?
Um, Not really, but I think my morals and principles stand firm regardless of what's going on. I think that in light of life right now, it's we're in a situation where you got it like we know what's right and what's wrong. We know that what's going on in life is wrong, and we got to figure out how far we're willing to take it for what's right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely for sure. Excuse me. Got a tongue twister. And what you think about a little bit of what Jay said, and then you can transition into your perspective as well.
No, I agree with him 100%. Manhood to me, being that I'm from Harlem, from a child of the '70s, we was raised by a village. The problem with today's youth is that we don't have that structure anymore.
Right.
Where, whereas you, when you did something wrong, there were people that in your neighborhood they put their foot in your butt for that, and we don't have that structure no more. Now, if you touch somebody's child, you're likely to go to jail or get into some sort of fight. But you know, taking care of your responsibilities, being a role model when it's needed, It's just a whole bunch of, it's a whole list of things that you can say would make you a man. But at the end of the day, you have to be more of a leader and lead by example.
Absolutely. And I agree with that. And I do think, like you said, there's a difference in between the consequences that we get for our, I guess, our faults as we come up in the world. And I don't really think that it went away. I think it's a little more discreet now because there's a lot more consequences and there's a lot more punitive to how you should nurture and upbring your child. Now, a
Right.
lot of people do feel
Exactly.
that those morals and concepts does create the tougher part of a balance almost like how do you know that this is not creating a burden rather than something that's creating an acceptance, I guess you can say.
Yeah. I mean, we allow other people to tell us how to raise our children. That's the problem we have. We used to be able to raise our own children. We was raised by our parents.
Absolutely.
So now there's laws in place that we're not allowed to do. We're not allowed to discipline our children the way we used to when we was growing up. We turned out fine. So, and there's a whole structure of there's a
Right.
whole different dynamic in terms of the way we was raised from the neighborhood, the music we listen to, the people we listen to. Everything has changed dramatically.
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely, man. The ear and the eye vessel, man. That's something that I've been preaching for a while to just anybody that I come by. It's very, very. You have to be mindful of what exactly you listening to and what exactly you viewing, especially at that early age, because almost creating a root to a curiosity almost. But I definitely agree with you on that part. Terry, I want you to give a follow up if you don't mind with Black J and Ant on Little Down. Oh, like Terry fell off on me.
Yeah,
Jay,
I
did
think.
you wanna follow? Jay, did you wanna
Come
follow up
back.
on a little bit of what Ant said?
Well, yeah, well, definitely, man. We it's definitely a new age, man. Like you didn't when I was coming up, man. You didn't think about any outside person, any outside thing at all. Talking about I'm calling anybody on your parent because she was gonna beat you till they got there. Go to jail, and when you got back, she was gonna beat you again. So,
Yeah.
and now, again, like I said, man, kids raising kids. And we, like you said, it's a lot of other people into up raising our children. And I see the Terry. I'm just
We
gonna end it with.
revived him.
I think that we definitely have to get a better handle on really, really getting to the core of our children and keeping these outside people out.
Yeah. So when before back in the
I can dig
day.
it. I can dig it. I like it. I appreciate it.
Oh, am I? Are we going back? Are we going to Terry now?
No, you go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, the structure is totally different. When you did something wrong, even in the eyes of the neighborhood hustlers, if they seen a good kid doing bad, they would stop you. They wouldn't let you do it. The elders in the neighborhood, they beat you to death, and they took you home to your parents, and your
Right.
parents beat you. So 90% of us came out pretty good. So now
Sound
you
loose.
got you got kids swinging on you got kids swinging on elderly people, swinging on their own grandparents. They have no respect for authority or the elders in this age. It's sad. You're listening to all this mumble rap and all this
I
all
like
this horrible money holes and clothes when the structure was different. I grew up on PE, X Clan, Poor Righteous Teachers. I grew up on righteous conscious rap. Now they listen to all this crap and they're selling themselves to these to this. I don't know what you even call it. It's just horrible.
you faded out on me. Oh yeah, I hear you.
It's all going downhill.
I like
So
it. I
we got to
like it.
find a way
I
to get
agree
it
with it,
back.
man. Is definitely yeah, man. It's a power struggle in between the here and the now, and it's almost like we somewhere stuck in between what we seeing and what we want to be. And I think you came up with a very good analogy about how you have those in those neighborhoods that do the wrongdoing, but it's almost like they see others as far as the youth in the neighborhood. They don't want to see that wrongdoing. It's almost like internally it's something rooted to push to be better. But a lot of people get so caught up in circumstances that some of those things that I talked about last week, when that survival mode cut on, man, is a different lane. And when you're in survival mode, you find yourself doing a lot of things to get what you want. So, but Terry, outside of what Ant and Jay said, what you think about the definition of manhood and what the guys commented on for the most part?
I agree with everything what they said about the definition of manhood. You know, about being there for your family, your kids, trying to keep the kids in line. You know, just being a positive role model. You know, the discipline that has to be done. But so we have to take in. I mean, there's so many different factors that made our um, made our people go down. You know, like we couldn't. They made all these laws where we couldn't hit the kids, and also some of these kids that can you hear me good? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you good?
Yeah, you good.
Okay. All
We
right. All right. Now some of the kids that are out there now, they're kids of kids who were raised by their grandparents because their parents was on crack. So there's a
I was
big
about to say that
disconnect there
too.
because they were out there running wild, searching for love. And so right now, these kids, the younger kids now, are a byproduct of that. So the crack damage has done, it's still carried over to all these different decades in the past. Um, and then you got them taking away. You know, we used to have the PAL, we used to have after school programs, things to keep kids busy. These things no longer
Yeah,
exist. I mean, even Boy Scouts. I mean, it's like um, so it's set up for for kids to fail in a sense. You know, the textbooks in the schools are 25 years old, and so many different things that cause our demise and so forth. So it's very complicated, but we can't stop. We can't give up. We just have to keep
Yeah,
trying to reach the kids. But now they have even more distractions with this technology, trying to keep up with one another. I mean, we had that too to an extent. You know, we went to Lady Jordans or Pumas or whatever it was. But now they see so much, on their phones day to day that it's crazy. You know, it's a whole different world now. We can't even comprehend it now.
yes, sir.
I think we're gonna need more than an hour for this show.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
Man,
man.
and like like everything that you're talking about, Terry, man, it just made me kind of like think about just everything that's been going on and like how
yeah,
that oppression kind of is just like, man, it seemed like we didn't hit a ceiling, man, and it seemed like we've been kind of dealing with it for so long. We didn't cope with it in all the different ways that we was given, and it's like it's a box almost, man, and it's starting to get to a point where the things that we seen in our inner cities and the things that we seen in our projects and our lifestyles is starting to go state and federal as far as the way that we cry out. And when I say that, like for example, I know a lot of times when I was growing up, people was in love with different things. It wasn't always women. People was in love with action. People was in love with hustle. People was in love with money. People was in love with crime too. And
mhm,
when you put somebody in that position where they're trying to do better and you kill switch them back to that mode, man, shoot. That robbing and target and all the riding and targeting the riding is definitely a good transition, but it's almost like that's the stuff we've been doing all our lives. Now it's like, oh, it's a problem that we didn't put it on the platform. Like now you're gonna feel it from a point that it's not us on us because it's never been that. That's just the route and the rhythm you guys try to create. So Jay, what you think about a lot of the oppression, man, as far as the perspective of a man and how it kind of is like we too down in society almost.
Bro, man, I have a real hard time with it, man. Really, I do. Um, because for me, I came from an era like the brother said, I came up listening to Tupac and the militant people, and just the way that things are going down, man. Like I've said, I'm gonna be very careful on the things I choose to say, but something has to happen, man. Like that, I understand. I always felt like there was some years ago. I felt like riots were like a little overkillish. If nothing else changes, man, listen, something has to change. You can't do the same thing and
Right.
expect something different.
It's already started.
And we have definitely over the years. Like I remember Amadou Diallo, and it was like the wildest thing that I can ever think of at that time, and it's
Yeah.
still happening. Odd years later, like they're still wowing us out. Like so, I firmly support radical response to this nonsense, man. I wish that I wish that things were kind of back in the days, man. Where the dudes were a little more militant and kind of willing to sacrifice themselves to a degree for our people, man. And I'm really not too far from that, but it's critical, bro. It's critical. I really think about. I just had a grandson recently, and I really, since I've had him, been thinking about like what is life going to be like for him. You know what I mean? So we've been oppressed for too long, and yeah, now it's time for something different, man.
Yeah. I want to know. I want to know how much longer we have to sit around the campfire singing "Kumbaya." We, it's not going to end until we as a people do something to end it. It's not gonna go down peacefully. We already know that because they literally have their foot on our necks. So what is it gonna take for the tide to turn? That's the question.
And keep in mind, we only asking for equality. We didn't ask for nothing beyond. We just said, yo, we want to be treated equal. This is just treat us fairly.
Right.
It's not like, yo, we want, you know what I mean?
That's
Absolutely,
that's the
man.
minimal. That's the minimum.
Right.
Because if we really ask for what
Man,
was
when you
ours,
talk
we
about
take the
like,
country back. Because the country belongs to us, basically.
oh man, it ain't no price on reparation for
There's
that,
no.
man.
I don't look. I'm not looking for reparations.
We so in the hole, man. I don't even think it's a price.
There's no such thing as reparations to me. Reparations
Exactly, and
is them
that's
giving us something. No, I want everything we supposed to have.
right.
You can keep your reparations.
And that's the thing. What exactly is that something?
Hmm?
I said, and that's the thing. What exactly is that something? Because once we get equality, like that's to me, equality is not even a piece of the
They're not.
reparation.
They're not
Like
going to give us. I'm sorry to cut you
a
off,
tip of the
but
iceberg.
they're not going
Like
to give us
that's the
equality
standard that's
because
supposed to be a general.
yeah, no, they're not going to give us equality because equality for them means that we have once we're on equal footing, we have the capability of surpassing them. They don't want us up there. They want to keep us. They want to keep us beneath them. So
Right.
they're doing everything in their power to keep us below our standards. Because once we get to that equal footing, it's only going to be a matter of time before they get run over. They know it. That's why they're doing everything they can to keep us segregated, separated, and incarcerated, and a whole lot more other stuff on top of that.
Indeed.
They will do their and the separation of the black family is the main thing that is keeping us from rising to the top. Once we get that structure back, the game is pretty much over.
They know that.
Yeah,
They
I can dig it.
Yeah,
in the Black Wall Street.
I mean that's documented. You can look that up. All that's documented. They doing everything in their power to keep the black family, because once upon a time the black family is what funded the politicians to our favor. Once you separate that family, the money doesn't get funded no more. Now everybody has to work. The wife didn't have to work before, so now everybody has to work. Now they don't have time for the kids, and the kids suffer.
Right.
And what happens to the kids? They're out in the street learning from the bad people, and and here we are. There's no more. The whole entire black family structure has been severed. Until we get that back, it's going to continue to be like this.
Man, that's probably one of the biggest generational curses of of our culture, man. Like we so deeply rooted into that too. Like, and I'm gonna talk about that in a little more. I don't want to get too far out. Hey Ted, what you think about everything, man? Just as far as this, like the current oppression in society.
About, about the current question.
Can you hear me clearly, Terry?
Okay. Okay now. Okay, I can hear you now. Say it again.
I said, I said, can you give me your perspective on the oppression in society a little bit and how it correlates with the culture?
We're gonna need more hours for this. I mean,
Yeah,
it basically
Two 90-minute tapes.
it basically boils down to the white man doesn't his, everything that's built in America is built by immigrants. So if it wasn't for immigrants,
Hey, Terry, you turn up a little bit. Can you turn your mic up? You sound a little far, buddy.
here now, what's my mic? Everything goes. How about now?
Um, can you go up a little more for me?
My volume is all the way
Yep,
up.
that's good.
Okay. Um. Yeah. What was I saying? Yeah. It's basically they don't want competition. You know, white white men, everything that they do, they did off of other cultures. Matter of fact, they have no culture. They steal from everybody else and make it their own. And then, for instance, look at hip hop. Hip hop now is almost white. I saw my grandkids a couple of weeks ago. I was at their house, and they were listening to white hip hop on YouTube, whatever it was. And if you wasn't paying attention to it, you would swear it was black people. And then I looked at the TV and I said, "Oh, so those are white people." And I mean, we can't have nothing. We can't even. You know what? Check this out. That the epidemic with the opioids and meth and so forth is so bad that the white crackheads, I say crackheads because meth heads, they're re-gentrifying the crackheads in Newark. Like it used to be when you get off the highway that you have the black crackheads asking for money or want to change your windows. Now it's white people out there. I'm like, they even re-gentrifying the crackheads that we have.
Hey
It's,
Terry, I can hear you, but you sound a teeny bit muzzled.
yeah,
uh,
just a bit.
this might be my voice, my deep voice, maybe. Um,
Now he was clear earlier.
I was okay. Yeah. I don't know. It's just so much. Uh, hold on. What is that?
Yeah, they're kicking crackheads out they spots now, and all these white people coming around,
Yeah, yeah,
muscling in on their territory.
yeah. Cause
Dang.
I work out of Newark, New Jersey, and like I said, for the past 2 years, when you get off the highway, what used to be only black crackheads, now you got the white guys out there, and it's like, wait a minute, they're re-gentrifying the crackhead areas. I mean, it's like we can't have nothing. It's just crazy. And
Yo, Terry, I don't want that one. I'm glad to not see black crackheads when I pull off the highway, man.
I'm glad that
Yeah, I'm hoping they rehabilitated themselves.
no, no, I'm glad at that as well, even though they're still out there. But I'm just saying how the in the process of re-gentrification, how it's happening even to that extent as well. And
Yeah,
I think what a lot of us don't realize, which is crazy, that opioid has hit them just as hard as it hit the black community, as hard as the crack epidemic hit the black
yeah,
community, because it hit
absolutely.
everybody through the suburbs.
That's why it's a problem.
Yeah,
But the opioids hit them more than they hit us, though.
yeah, yeah. But I'm saying it hit
Oh
it
yeah,
hit even harder, I think,
absolutely.
than the crackheads back in our days.
Yeah,
I really
because
did.
because the crack era. I mean, there's some crackheads, but there's a whole lot more opioid heads out there. and meth heads and
Yep,
Oh yeah,
yep,
stuff like that.
absolutely.
You
yep.
know, the tide has changed on that level.
Opioids,
And
yeah,
up here,
opioids, man. Those are one of those things you can kind of get a little more over the counter. So I think it's a more
yep,
likelihood you'll get addicted to it. So, but
yep.
and you said something earlier, man. It's kind of been holding me a little bit. You was talking about how the damage to our family tree as far as the effects of the oppression. So I wanted to kind of get y'all perspective on how y'all think as far as our family tree, how our upbringing transition to how we treat women. Jay, you wanna start me off, buddy? We ain't on our own. It's time now, baby.
In how we treat women.
Ooh, boy.
Definitely, definitely. The things that you see, whether it be from your, from the patriarch of your family or your uncles, your brothers, if you happen to run across a dude, if one of your uncles or older people that you kind of respect are womanizers, a lot of the time you definitely fall. You follow behind that because that's what you learn. I had an older cousin, or a guy I called my cousin. He was really, really popular with the ladies. But come to find out that he was, he wasn't a nice dude. And I kind of realized for myself at that point that I really didn't want to treat women like that, especially because my mother was a strong black woman. Like I said, my father left when I was 5, so my mother raised all of us, raised 5 of us and grandkids, and she did that on her own. So for me, I respected my mother. I'm a mama's boy to the core, and at the end of the day, how I see
Come
women
on, man.
um, is
Hey,
is are powerful beings who take care of what they need to take care of. But I know some dudes who didn't have a mom or mother was out there. They didn't get cultivated by their mother that was in a comfortable space. And yeah, they weren't the greatest people to be in relationships with as far as women were concerned. So it definitely shifts your trajectory on how you manage your relationship going through life. And even me, at the end of the day, like I wasn't being older now and thinking about how I was when I was 15, 16, 17, even 20. You live and you learn. Like I've learned a lot more in the last 5 years about being a man and how you treat a woman than I learned my entire life. You know what I'm saying? And that's mostly just because I've ran across a lot of powerful women who kind of pointed some things out to me that I was like, whoa, you know what I'm saying? Like even as simple as
Right.
for us men, right? A woman walks by and she's fine. She got a fat booty, whatever. She's beautiful, whatever. And we do
right,
this.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I've come to learn that is not that's not
yeah,
admirable,
right
bro.
there.
You know what I'm saying? Like it depends on who you're dealing with. If you got a real woman, that's like ogling, like you're
Absolutely.
thirsty, like you've never seen a woman before. And for me, even the way we look at them when we see a woman that's appeasing to our eyes, we like, and we have that look. And I've ran into women and said, "Yo, that shit is uncomfortable as hell to me. I don't
Yeah.
like it. It's creepy." And I said, "Wow,
Right.
man, I never thought about it before that time." So for me, yeah, everything about the people you run across in your life will mold you into a trajectory of how you treat them, bro. Bottom line.
Yeah. I've been in
Yeah, and man,
I
I think like
I was raised by
go
I
ahead
was
and
I
rock out.
was I was raised my elders were a lot more women than men. So I learned a lot more about I learned a lot more about love and respect than anybody than anything else. You know, my dad he never put his hand on my mother, so I never had to endure that, thankfully. So my whole life was raised on love and respect, and I followed that to the letter. And even as a parent, I've always thrown my entire heart into everything I do, basically. Once I get started on it, so it's all about and also for as far as people who don't have that kind of structure, it's just all about knowing right from wrong. You know it's wrong for you know it's wrong for a man to hit on a woman, to beat on a woman. Why would you still do it? You know what I'm saying? It's all about taking control and being a leader and not following the bad example of people that you're surrounded with. You gotta make that decision on your own. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, for sure. And I think and my mom, I had a single parent household, but my mom, she dated throughout, my life when I was in the household. And a lot of the guys that she dated, I wouldn't say they were the ideal father figure in my life or a role model. So I think as time grew on, it was a little inverted for me. I was able to view what not to be and add that on to the things that I had already. So it was like with some of the issues I had going on in my household, it kind of was like, yeah, that's definitely a not. That's definitely something that's scratched off the list as far as the expectation that I want for my woman in the future. But I think the biggest thing that I have found myself to struggle with from that is that I never learned how to close out situations like that. Like I never was able to get closure. And I don't want to say closure in a relationship, just in any type of situation because I seen my mom go through so much and she never clocked out of it as far as releasing herself. And I don't know if it was something where she needed the resource of whoever my stepdad was more than she needed to let him go. But it was almost like I never really seen that from a head on. And even with my pops going for the time he was, like we still build that relationship, but it was only so much coaching and counseling he can do for me with the range that we had. I needed to experience that head on. So I think a lot of those stems has kind of grew into a big tree in a sense, but I got good acknowledgement of who I am now, so it kind of helped me like mobilize that as I go forward. And I'm still young too.
Which you doing really great things for somebody who hasn't experienced that kind of atmosphere. You're doing very
Mm,
well.
Indeed.
absolutely. Yeah, so I mean like, and I think a big part of that now is like now when women come into play, it's like I said, things were inverted to me. Like I love my queens, I love my queens from all over the world, but there's a certain type of castle that I'm creating that every queen can't live in. You follow
Right.
me?
Exactly.
And every and every woman feels like that king should be available to every queen, but everybody's not a king. You know what I'm saying? Some women take that perspective and they base that off your credentials. Some ladies base that off the longevity that you can endure the hardships with them. But at the same time, it's a power struggle because it's a misunderstanding exactly what is a have and have not, if you follow me.
Yeah.
And I think a lot of times those conversations are deal breakers, and a lot of times they're avoided because don't nobody want to deal with a deal breaker with somebody you're in the honeymoon stage with. You follow me? Nobody wants to be the real person. Nobody wants to be the real person, but it sucks because everybody talks about having something concrete. Everybody talks about foundation. Like, yeah, we can have our little fun, our recreation or whatever, but what about the forefront? And for some women, believe it or not, is intimidating, man, and it puts them back on their heels. And not a lot of women are able to recognize that because our typical Joe chases. We won't have a lot of men that feel like they the catch. You
Yeah.
follow me?
Hmm.
Some women wanna come up.
What you think about it, Jay?
Oh yeah, yeah. I
Yo,
got a lot to say
man.
about that.
Yo, man.
Let's get it, let's get it, let's get
Damn
it.
it, moment.
I'm waiting.
Yo, listen, man. Listen. And that's what's crazy about having a woman, being raised by my mother with well, not all of us wasn't in the house when I was really starting to remember. But at the end of the day, for me, man, I was raised by a black woman who was self-sufficient. who had her finances in order, who had all her ducks in a row, who didn't need nobody, so she wasn't dealing with a bunch of nonsense. So for me, and also being, I've been in my relationship for 19 years. Like you said, man, everything ain't for everybody, and most certainly, um, and we're gonna go into this another day for the people that watch it, because I'm sure this is gonna be something crazy. But I've been with my wife for 19 years. I am polyamorous and ethically non-monogamous. So even in the 19 years, of course, I've been able to see different kinds of people. So for me, being in a relationship with my wife who is, excelling at a certain kind of level, there's a certain kind of people I'm not going to have around me, because at the end of the day, we kind of need to level up to a degree. You know what I mean? So, like you said, you can't embrace somebody into your
Right.
home when their work ethic or their mentality or their financial state or their financial mind is not where you're trying to go. And those conversations have to be had, because if you start getting serious, it gets serious. So for me, man, I don't really, I don't, I understand coming from a struggle, and I've struggled for a lot and still struggling to this day. But to
Yeah.
not for nothing, for me,
Who you talking about?
we definitely have to be able to bring a certain kind of elevation to each other, or at the minimum, be in a mindset that we're going to elevate one another. Now that could be me struggling, or that could be the person struggling. Either way, but we're going to find a way to elevate ourselves to a higher being. So no, you don't necessarily have to come to the table and be making, you know, $100,000 a year. But at the end of the day, your mindset needs to be on a future goal in order for us, because that's where I'm going at my age. You know what I'm saying? I have goals that I haven't set. And if that's not something that the person's into, then no, you can't really you're not welcome into my life. So def- definitely have to be on the same page. And that's for men too. Men be broke and be trying to do too much. Dude, at the end of it, settle down, man. Your
See,
bank account don't support your relationship style, man. Even to my degree, like, I have to be careful on how many connections I entertain, because at the end of the day,
Right.
I can only do but so much with what I have. You know what I'm saying?
I'm back.
let's be
Yes,
let's
sir. I definitely get it. What you about to say
yeah,
something?
man. Let's be clear. Two things. One, we're not broke. Broke is when you absolutely have nothing. Our money, and we bust our ass
Right.
for, is tied up into our life, into
Right.
our lifestyle. We own houses. We pay our bills. We have things that we can offer a woman, and we may not have all the money in the world, but we maintain. So none of us on this panel, I believe, are broke. We don't sit around twiddling our fingers, living under somebody else's roof, not contributing to paying bills. That's
Right.
number one. Two, let's get
Right.
to the women. I want to get to the women. All black women are queens, but not every queen wears their crown. Not every queen wears their crown properly. And
Uh-oh.
what I mean by
Camera.
that is, if you don't have anything else to bring to the table besides what's in the bedroom, then of course things are going to fall apart, because at the end of the day, I'm not I just don't want to wake up with a sore dick. I want substance in my relationship. You know, I want a woman to be able to cook breakfast for me, as well as I would do for her. Everything has to be a balance. It's not about what I have to offer a woman. What does she have to offer what does she have to bring to the table as well? Because I don't want to have sex. I want to make love. So I want to build on something
Right.
that means something. I don't just want sex. I can get sex from anywhere. I can make phone calls and get sex from anybody. So
But
so I want something sustainable
but
that
listen,
that 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 makes sense.
yeah, I feel it. But now, as a man who who really want that, because I really yearn for what you're saying. You don't think as a man who really want it should work for the chance to make love to a woman?
Absolutely. I'm doing
And
that.
and, and once
I'm
again,
doing that now. I'm a
Definitely,
single man
and that's what I'm
that's
saying.
looking
definitely.
for it, and I'm working towards that now. But I can wait. I don't need to have sex with a woman right away. I had to learn that. It takes a lot of trial and error to get to a point where you can be that patient. You know what I'm saying? I'm tired of being in and out of these crappy relationships. I'm on something with some substance, something with some longevity.
All right, so what do you think, Terry? What you got?
But what was the question? I've been going in and out, touching buttons, and it'll lead me somewhere else. What was the question? I just caught the tail end of the
Yeah.
conversation.
So basically, me and the fellas, we were just going into basically how our upbringing root into like how we treat women and how things work as far as that call and response to our misunderstanding with our females.
Mm, let's see. Well, I was raised, seeing my mother and father together all the time. I didn't see my father with any other women or anything. So, he pretty much worked, came home, you know, gave the money and so forth, and just real old fashioned. So I was really never one really running around like that and so forth. I was just simple, like I could wait and whatever. Old fashioned, really old fashioned.
Yep.
To answer the question.
Old school courtship.
Yeah.
And that's what's
You know.
interesting too, man. Like, and
Yeah, and
go ahead, and
Oh no, I just that's all I wanted to say. It's like it's this genuine courtship, getting to know the woman before you land in the bedroom is important because if you don't, you're not going to have a loving relationship. You're going to have a lustful relationship,
yeah.
and a lot of people don't know the
right,
difference.
And just like Anthony said, not for nothing, at this point in my life, even though, I'm able to see who I like, at the end of the day, man, like you said, anybody can just have sex for fun, man. Like, it just, you can find that anywhere. For me, the deeper connection is in actually who you are, where you going, what you doing. You know what I'm saying? Like, so, um, even for me, for a person who may or may not, date constantly or not, but I may see a woman that's attractive. If her mindset is not right, then I'm not like, just because I can. I don't do it because I can. I find connections that are real, and it definitely doesn't have anything to do with sex. I've had a friend who we always did was kick it and cuddle.
right.
That's it. You know what I'm saying? And we were into each other's minds, but we weren't physical. So, I mean, at the end of the day, man, no, to take it back to what you said earlier about men being the prize. I feel like if you got your ducks in a row and you're standing up like a man and you're being honest and truthful, that's the only thing you really can do, man.
Yep. Let's be
Yeah.
clear.
I,
Sex is supposed to
I
be the
see it. Go ahead,
bonus,
Ant. What were you about to
not
say?
the sex is supposed to be the bonus, not the priority.
Right.
So
Yeah,
I want what I'm looking for is to be able to stimulate a woman's mind and spirit so that she would be willing to submit her body to me. When she does submit her body to me, it's going to be right. I don't want to have sex. I want to make love. I want a relationship that has meaning and not just sexual. You want to be able to connect with the woman fully.
I want the mind fuck. I need you to entice me enough in my brain for me to even feel like,
Right, exactly. Without having to touch her physically.
yeah, I'm not interested. I'm not interested.
The physical part can wait. For me, at least.
and And see, then this is my thing right here. I think the biggest thing is like it is a struggle because once again, like when we got this thing where we going with women and like potential, you know what I'm saying? It's a store of energy. A lot of people don't talk about what potential is. It's a store of energy, and that energy doesn't always come to life. And in the midst of that, parenthood happen, children come into play, and now situations go from bad to worse. Now, me personally, I'm not a father, and I'm thankful, but I think some of you guys may have children, some of you guys may not, but you guys definitely have a lot more experience than I have as far as just perspectives on witnessing how fatherhood transition from broken homes as far as those relationships not working. So, in that same order, Jay, Aunt Terry, you guys give me a little bit of dialogue. What y'all think about that?
Bro, what's crazy? What's crazy is, man. My father was an amazing father. Bottom line, he was even
Mine
when he
too.
wasn't in the household, he was still amazing. And so for me, I had my son was born when I was 21. Unfortunately, as soon as he was born, about 8 months later, I was in prison. I went away for 5 years. When I came home, he was 6, and we had a good relationship over time. And I would like to think that I would be like the coolest father to have because I've been through a lot of the street stuff. I've had a father who wasn't necessarily in the household. And what's crazy is me, even to this day, me and my son's relationship is a little strained. Even when I even try to be like not try to be the friend father, but I like to try to be the honest, like, dude, I'm going to give you the blueprint to life. And I know, this is how you need to do it in order that's going to work out best for you. And I get that he's not necessarily taking to it because I didn't. Because I had brothers who were like fathers to me, to be honest, and I had to learn on my own. And even to this day, my son is 24. He just had a baby recently. Our relationship is a little strained, and I'm every day, like literally every day, I try to make sure, even if he don't respond, I still send him a text message like every other day, like, yo, man, what up? Stay away from the police, with all the craziness going on. So for me, fatherhood, like even so, I got a 24-year-old son, 24-year-old daughter. She came along doing her, in a time when I was in prison, I didn't know. And our relationship was strained for a good time. And it's like, it's crazy to witness, to think that, like, I think I'm like the real cool father. And then it don't necessarily work out that way, man. You know what I'm saying? And so for like, my parents are super older than me, and I kind of was a mess up. All right, so I'm a little closer. Maybe I can relate to them a little bit differently, a little bit better. And it hasn't really translated that way. Now, my daughter that's in house with me, we have a much better relationship. And that's when and seeing her development, it makes me realize, like, man, it was really, really important for me to have been in those kids in the household with these kids, man. And I've taken a beating over the years because of it, because I was in the street, reckless, doing a bunch of craziness,
Yeah,
and those things I did in the street affected my children. And I'm working on it to this day. You know what I'm saying? Like every day, I'm still working on being a better father. We get better with time. That's really all I can say, man. It's hard, it's
absolutely.
worth it, and we just can't quit. That's it, man.
What you think, Aunt? I like it, Jay. That felt good actually hearing that, man.
Yeah, man. Father is nothing. There's no greater feeling than being a dad. I've always wanted to be one because of the example that my stepfather, set for me. I wanted to be just like him. So, but I wasn't. Unfortunately, I wasn't afforded the opportunity to be that person to my own son because of you know problems that I went through with his mother. But when one door closed, I ended up having to deal with seven stepchildren, and it turned out pretty well for me. But unfortunately, my son passed away, and I didn't get a chance to reconcile, get a chance to straighten out all things that his mother did to me. and but I still have 7 stepchildren and 14 grandchildren to deal with. So I'm still having fun. I'm gonna continue to be having fun probably for the rest of my life.
You're gonna be
But
young forever, that's for sure.
huh?
You're gonna be young forever, that's for sure.
Yeah,
Forever youthful.
yeah, man.
Hey,
It's been a great ride.
absolutely, I appreciate it. And what you think about it, Terry? You can dial into the convo a little bit. Got some perspective for us?
Can you hear me? My mic is muted. Okay. Um, I mean, first of all, there's no manual to raising kids. I mean, we could think, I myself try to be the coolest dad, and they look at you like, whatever. They think somebody else's dad is cooler or whatever it is. So there's no manual to it. All we can do is just try the best that we can. Growing up with my father, he was much older than I was, and he's old fashioned, and his thing was just work hard, support the family. That was it. There was, no actual physical show of love, but his show of love was trying to, make you into a man. Make you understand the value of working hard and trying to achieve the goals and just being, tough to an extent. Tough as far as not afraid of hard work and so forth. But I love raising kids. I got three biological kids, three step kids, and four grandkids. So it's a great thing. Really good. But once again, there's no manual. No two kids are alike.
Right, and I think you hit a good point saying that there's no manual, but yet as parents and as kids we hold ourselves to a standard, right? So what exactly is that standard that or the expectation that we're holding ourselves to? I think being better is general, but like what exactly is the template? And I'm gonna start with Jen. We could just keep that same rotation as far as I dial.
Repeat that for me, bro. I'm sorry.
I was saying, so basically Terry was talking about it's really like no manual to the lifestyle of just everything. And I was just telling him like it's interesting that he says it's no manual because it's still expectations or standards. So how exactly can you create, I guess, expectation to something that you don't have a blueprint for? Because what I can think is meeting the expectation and what you can think meeting the expectation is two separate things. You follow me?
Yeah. Okay. For me, bro, what I've come to learn is one of the best things in trying to be a little bit better as far as parenting is, and women have this down pat. I don't think that men recognize it as much as we should, even myself, until recently, is time, 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 and more
Right.
time. The more time you spend with these children, the better your relationship is, the more they trust you, the more they're able to be themselves around you. And that should be the standard. Like at the end of the day, when you think about it, like in
Right.
regard to minutes or hours, or you know what I mean? If I can sit on Facebook for an hour, man, you better spend an hour with your kids before you spend an hour on Facebook. You know what I'm saying? So for me, yo, the biggest and most profound thing that I've understood, especially having two girls and one boy, is time. Time is the standard. You have to spend as much time as you possibly can with these children. Do not put work before your children because at the end of the day, guess what? They're going to keep growing and get older and move on. And you still gonna have to work if you're not doing it right. So man, when you get them 8 hours to get done, you go home just like your wife. You spend some time with them kids. That should be the standard.
Yeah, absolutely. That
Absolutely.
sounds good, man.
I've built I've
Just
built
hearing it.
oh but
Oh no, I was saying just hearing it from, a perspective of I don't want to sound believing like a manual, like you said, but being able to see that it's definitely a vessel there or pulse of hope for those children can still break some of those curses. Whether it's not the full fledged is a start. If you follow me, and it's always going to be a trial and error. And I think that's where the issue kind of come in at, as far as like when you have children that becomes fathers and then they become grandfathers, it's still kind of tick for tat, and you still kind of chopping at the bit until we have a hold on what we want. But that changes as time goes on too. So, but and what you think about it?
It's 100%. I agree with him 100%. Let me add on to it that you know,
Mm,
time, dedication, and that and being genuine towards their thoughts, their wants, their needs. Just being there for them in their time of need when they need you. I've had to I've had the opportunity to I've been blessed with the ability to have such great relationships with my kids. I can hang out with any one of my kids at any given time, and and it's that kind of thing that I've built with them because I actually had a plan when I was a young kid. I wanted to have kids early so that I would be able to hang out with them without being that old fogey dad. And
right,
and now, my oldest is going to be 33 this year, and we're all over the place. We hang out a lot. We go to restaurants, we go to bars, we hang out. I'm still a cyclist, so we still go off road, and we just hang out tough. And
right,
and if a lot of fathers put that time kind of dedication into their kids, they will have great relationships. You just have to put the work in. You can't be that sometimey person that's in and out because they won't respect you. So now I put the time into the kids and the grandkids. I'm trying to keep it going for the next generation.
That's
So they
right.
so they would have so they would know who their grandfather is and what he's about. So I have great relationships with everybody.
okay, I like it. And Terry, as far as what Ant said, as far as I believe that you're probably a little more as far as age. What do you think about that? Looking at it from a further outskirt than the rest of us.
Or
You talking to me?
No,
Or
Terry.
who's the oldest here?
I'm 50.
Oh, you got him by a year, Ant. Well, go ahead, Mr. Terry. Well, just your
Oh,
overall, just your perspective.
I give it try to spend as much time as you can with them. But sometimes that's the issue because when they become, 14 and 15, they're not trying to hang around us, So between 14 and like speaking maybe 30, they really don't want to be around us. It's when they get 30 and so forth, when they start coming around us and start telling us, maybe what they appreciate about us, each of them. But between, otherwise they're just out there running wild until, everything that we taught them hits them. Like I said, 14, roughly 14 to like, just about 30 or, late 20s. That's it now. Everything that we taught them before. Can you hear me? Can you hear me good?
Yeah. Oh,
yeah.
yeah.
Yeah,
You back now. There
much
you go.
better.
I'm back now. Okay. I'm sorry. Yeah. So, did you hear anything I said?
No, we heard you, but it was a little muffled, but I heard you though.
Yeah, you
Okay.
can you clear now.
All right. Yeah. So what I was saying between 14 and like 30, they don't really want to be around the parents. Um, once you get around 30th, then that's when they start coming around the parents and thanking the parents about everything that they taught them. And I don't think they're more open to spending time. But in between then, from what I see, from my experience with my kids, they don't want to be bothered. The most, unless you're taking them, great adventures or somewhere, But no, they're all over the place.
Hard, man. High school years are real hard, man.
Yeah. Forget it. Yeah. You know.
Hey, hey, fellas, I think we got some Q&A from a few of our fans. Y'all ready to get to it?
Let's get to it.
Let's get to it.
All right. So the first one I see is what is you guys' perspective on being a black man and the rhetoric of what's going on in today? And we can start from Jay and work that same order.
Bro, I don't know how to. I mean, let me be honest. I'm still processing a lot of the shit that's going on right now. Um, because it does not stop long enough for you to process it. Like the young
Yeah.
boy
Right.
killed, you know what I'm saying, on the street by these two dudes last, right before this situation. So it's not even like I get enough time to process it as a black man to say how I feel about what's going on, man. Honestly, it's
Right.
it breaks my heart to know that it's open season. But what's crazy, what's so wild is when I was listening to Ice Cube back in the days, them niggas in Cali been going through the same things and they've been doing this since they've been told they put this on wax in '89, man. And it's still
Right.
happening, but now we're capturing. I think what's so wild, man, is that now you get it on camera and then it still don't rock. Like, how do you how
Man, it's crazy, man.
but you can catch a picture of me on camera that could be grainy. I could look like 100 other bald dudes, and you can
But you
convince
make sense of it.
me to the cop, and he's in his face, like, yo, honestly, dude, bro, I don't know how to feel. I haven't finished processing it. I try not to watch the news because every time I do, it just makes me literally angry. Um, so for me, man, I'm still in process mode, man. I don't know how I feel. I'm angry as shit.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel that, man. And like I don't want to say I try to be on the avoidance about it, man, but it's like, man, it's layers. You know what I'm saying? Like it's so many layers, man. Like it's tough, man. And like when you really get into the why, and when you look at it and you hear it from a standpoint of a man, like a black man, absolutely, it's different, man. It's overwhelming because it's one thing to have them against us. You know what I'm saying? It's a whole other thing to have interference of the system or our people or any of those other variables that can contribute to it, man. So I think for me it's overwhelming the more and more it happens. You know what I'm saying? And it's almost like when stuff happens, it's like you're on the fence of somewhere between like I want to do this, but am I gonna do it? You feeling real risky right now. Like I'm thinking in my mind, like if I go to Walmart and a protest break out, you know what I'm saying? I know what side of the fence I want to be on for sure. But what
Right.
does that come with? You know what I'm saying? Like it's tough, man, because as a human, people want to die about it, but dying about it, you know what I'm saying? The acceptance of that and knowing that not just dying about it, but a drastic change has to come as a whole. I think that as a unit freezes us a little bit as a people. But Ant, what you think about it?
Man, in order for you to understand how society works, you have to understand our status as black people in general. You
Yeah,
gotta remember we went from being 3/5 of a human being upgraded only to being second class citizens. So when you see so when you see people getting shot, when you see black people getting shot by white cops in broad daylight with the cameras rolling and they get off completely, then you understand why things are happening the way they're happening. And it's sad because we're not doing enough to fight for who we're supposed to be. And until that happens, we're gonna always get treated the way we're being treated. There, I mean, this guy. I'm just anxious to see exactly how this plays out because you got a white
and
officer who was not only not only did he have his knee in this guy's neck for 9 minutes, but he was just chilling like it was like he was on the ground. And I'm just hoping that justice is going to be served the right way. That's all I'm thinking about right now. Him and
Yeah,
the other
and
three that was standing there being because if you're a good cop, if you're standing right there and you're not doing anything to protect this um black individual, then you're just as bad as everybody else.
This
So
citizen, the citizen,
they all should be prosecuted
dude,
the same
the
way.
citizen, man, protect like it's crazy.
man, and it's so wild, man, because it's like once again, like it got to be so drastic of a change, and like as man, just us right now, fellas, man, it's just so blessed, and just thinking about it to have a platform to just advocate. You know what I'm saying? And as much as I don't want to say it, or as much, but I know I feel it. We have had these cases so many times. The only question is, what's gonna happen after the verdict drop? You know what I'm saying? We done had what over 300-400 cases, and I think we are defeated as a culture. You know what I'm saying? So what I want to do with my platform, as far as I'm just saying, advocating for this realm as a whole, is use it as more than a vessel. You know what I'm saying? Use it as a whole entity. And I just pray whatever happens, my people as a whole, we're smart before we're impulsive. That's my only request.
Mm.
That's a fact.
Indeed, indeed. Before impulsive, yo. Because
Right.
like you said, man, because and this is
Yeah.
what I suggest, man. This is what I suggest, and this is what I would tell my son. If my son called me and said, "Yo, with everything that's going on, what you think I should do?" I would have to just tell him, and like I told you guys, you yesterday, Q. Like I don't know what I would have gonna say today, but for me, I would tell him, man, do the best that you can with what you got. Try to keep, if you run into a
Right.
situation, you see somebody being oppressed, and you see somebody, the police are acting a little wild crazy, make the best judgment that you can. Because I can't tell him, don't sacrifice yourself to save that black man. I can't tell him that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I can't
Right.
tell him to run away. And I can't tell, like, at the end of the day, man, you do what you can. If that's only filming, if that is, I don't know, but do the best that you can. But what I'm not going to tell anybody is yeah. While I'm not gonna say that. What I'm gonna say is do the best you can with the situation that's on hand. And if you feel like someone is going to kill someone else, if you want to stop it, please do, man. Because I would want somebody to do that for you.
Absolutely, man. And it's tough, because like even in those situations, man, the end goal is that you want to come, or you want that core love when they come home. You never want to see something going on in this lottery of the world. It's somebody you love. So I
Hmm.
think it's a thin line between what you're saying and what you're going to do, because everybody can advocate for what they feel should be done, but who is actually going to stand behind the action?
Yep.
You know, and I mean, I get it. I get it. I get it. I'm the oldest of 14, and my perspective is I don't know if I tell my brothers and sisters to pull out a camera. I don't know if I tell my brothers and sisters to get involved, because I don't know what else can be a variable to them being a suction to that consequence at hand.
Yep.
It seems like it's wiggle room every time for something different to happen. You know what I'm saying? And the best thing that I try to just be an example for is out of sight, out of mind, and just be righteous in everything I'm doing to take care of me. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what I got to stand in and on at the end of the day. So
No doubt.
yeah,
No
what you
doubt.
think about it, Mr. Terry?
Man, I'm just taking, breathing, trying to breathe because it's just so much. And first of
Yeah,
all this stuff, it has white people started it, racism. They're the ones who have to end it. There's nothing else anybody else can do until they start changing the way they look and the way they, look at people and treat people and, everything, the way the whole system is set up. So we can tell our boys, go out there, be careful. What does be careful mean when they're doing everything they can if they get pulled over by a cop to be professional and they still get shot? So it's like, damn if you do, damn if you don't. My thing is survive. You know, I mean, the way it's looking now, just survive. Do whatever you can to survive. And I just have to leave it on that because it's just too crazy out here now. And God forbid something happened to one of my kids. I'm not going to be on
Right.
TV saying, "Can we all get along?" I'm gonna be out there with Farrakhan and guns and stuff. So it's,
Ain't going with nobody.
what they're doing is, I mean, you can only bully a person so much. I mean, when you keep backing them down into a corner, what's going to happen? They're gonna fight like hell to get out of that corner, and that's what's happened now in America. In addition to, some of the white people are waking up and seeing that they're being sold a lot of nonsense about us, and because everybody wants our culture, our music. Matter of fact, with all this organ, them stealing organs and so forth, with black people missing, that's part of the organ trade. They're
Yeah,
killing us, taking our organs, and because our organs are the strongest out of everyone, and they're putting it into older white people or whomever. So it's a huge war against us. So that's why
Got you.
you can just go on and on. It's crazy.
Those movies ain't by coincidence.
Say again?
Those movies aren't by coincidence, yo.
Oh
Those
no,
movies
no, they're
aren't by
not.
no,
They're
coincidence,
not.
man.
Yes.
You don't just think this shit up. They be doing it. Yo.
Yep. Yep. It's real out there, man. And
Uh,
only thing we can do
Hey,
is be
fellas,
careful.
that's a
who
good
you telling,
question.
man? Hey, fellas, I just realized that we have milked our time, but I can't leave like this, man. I got a good one, man. We still rolling, so y'all think we can push one more question?
I ain't
Oh,
got nowhere
yeah,
Think
else
we
to
can do
go.
one more for
I'm
the
here.
people?
Go ahead,
yeah,
shoot.
no doubt, no doubt.
I'm here.
We closing in
We
on
could
80
go as
minutes,
long as you
fellas.
want to.
All right, let me see if I can jazz something good. Let me see what the people giving us. All right. Do you fear what's going on in society? And if so, how do you intercept it?
How do
Do
you
you
end it?
feel or fear? What was it?
Fear. I
Fear.
apologize.
What's going on in
FEAR.
society?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Do we fear society?
yeah.
No,
No, do you
They
fear what's
they
going
want
on?
that
no,
they want the mainstream media wants us to fear.
exactly.
This is what gives them the
Control.
yeah, basically. So
Okay. Okay.
eliminate the fear. I mean, eliminate. Don't even watch. I don't believe anything mainstream media says. Period. I have to see it in person because all they do is they do a lot of fabricating and they do a lot of exaggerating and everything that happens in the media is never exactly the way it happens. So until people
Okay.
wise up to it, we're gonna always be in fear.
Okay. I
For
dig it.
me,
Well, go ahead, Jay. Rock out.
in regards to fear, now I don't fear it. I definitely don't fear it for myself because at the end of the day, as I'm processing, I'm trying to come up with how I would manage in this temperature and what I would do with the people I care the most about. So it's definitely not a fear for myself. I think that I would be I'm more concerned about my kids and my grandkids. And
Yeah.
it's still not a fear, but I'm concerned, man. Like really, really, really concerned.
Yeah.
And we need
And
a
I think,
strategy, yo, for real.
As the
yeah, and I
generations progress,
think you took out the word fear. And what were you saying, Ant? Go ahead.
no, I'm saying like as the generations
Oh, my bad.
progress,
My
the
bad.
fear
But
disappears. You see what's happening now.
right. And I think for me, and I think for me personally, I don't fear what's going on in society, but I'm concerned what it may cost us.
Yep.
You follow me? I'm
Indeed.
It
concerned
costs us
about
every
that, and
day.
because as much as I right, and as much as, but that doesn't mean that it's a necessary price. You know what I'm saying? Like as much as I want us to go to its limits to do what we need to do to at least start picking up more pace to what we've been doing. I don't want it to be more sacrifice of our people. I don't want circumstances to continue to be altered because a lot of the things are as much as is a miss between being set back and moving forward. So like I said, just being smart over impulsive, like what it can cost us, man. Like, and when I say that, I'm talking about lives, more generational curses, more traumatic issues. And once again, we already having an issue where we don't even know how to search for that vessel of help, but we're still dealing with hardships. We didn't see so many live murders. Like, man, it's a culture now. It's not
Yeah,
TV no more. This is real life. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy, man.
yeah, it's insane,
So,
bro. It's insane.
The killer might called it murder porn.
Murder what?
yeah, that's
Every time you turn around,
murder porn.
yeah,
Mm.
you turn the TV on and all you see is us getting killed, and
Listen,
people are watching.
I'm not. I
It
can't.
felt
I don't even watch that. I don't even watch the news. I watch. I might try to check it out once a week, man. But it literally makes me too upset to even watch. So I just push forward without it, man. You know what I'm saying? And yo, it is this.
yeah.
This is wild, yo.
Mm.
It's sad, man, because I don't know if people was looking, man. I seen somebody stealing diapers out of Target in them videos, man. Diapers.
Yeah,
Diapers is real. People
Still,
are running in there for something more different than a protest, man.
yeah.
Like it's so many compound issues, like it's
But
heavy.
that's the
And
rabble rousers too, though, Q.
he said what?
I said that's the rabble rousers too, bro. Like they had that cop dude out there that was
Setting
breaking
fires,
windows.
breaking
You
windows.
know what I'm saying? So and it doesn't take much for that to translate to somebody else who doesn't have much, and he thinking, I maybe I'll go in there and get me some food, or I'll get me some. But like at the end of the day, that spark, yo, the rabble rousers too, man. I would have. I'm going to think to believe that a lot of the time that when you catching these black folks looting, that I'm going to say that man, rabble rousers possessed them to do that. You know what I'm saying? Because I just have more
Yeah,
faith.
when the get is good, you better get it.
they
You
said
know?
that they said the majority. They said the majority of the people that was doing the looting were Cajun white people.
Yeah.
Occasion. That's some dude.
Yeah.
Hey fellas, so if we got what y'all think about some of the issues about our women and the loss of their lives as far as the brutality with the police. Like
That's
does for y'all and
horrible.
this is a question from one of the viewers. For y'all, do that kind of weigh a little more heavier than just the general platform itself?
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, yeah.
Our queens are getting killed. Those are the
Yeah.
nurturers
Yeah,
of
absolutely.
our existence. So when you kill a black woman, that's one less person that's procreating, and the more you eliminate, the less of our population becomes. So of course, and these are mothers of our children. These are wives. These are essential people in our family. They're very important to us.
Yeah,
Not to say that we're not important, but they're the ones that brought us here, and we're
Yep.
supposed to. And we as black men should be ashamed of ourselves because we're not doing enough to protect them.
please, man, you don't get it. I literally be going at my people when they don't contact me, like any of my female entities. Like I do not like that, man, because it's scary, man. Like you got human trafficking where our females or is the vessel of that. Like it's so scary, man. And I try not to come off as like I guess somebody who's all up under that person, but it's real, man. Like it's
Shit is
so
real.
real, man. That jogging is a caution. You know what
They
I'm
will
saying?
snatch. They will
So just
snatch.
as
They
you
will snatch.
transition
They
from
will
yourself.
snatch somebody off the street so fast, man. And again, bro, like and me and my brother, because I have a nephew that's a cop. My brother his father was the CO. We had a conversation the other day, man, about what's going on. And he asked me, oh, because I'm a kind of a street. Used to be a street dude. He like, yo, would you? I said, yo, I said, what, what's the temperature of police in as far as black? Like, if a black cop knows a white cop is bad, do they say something? He said, you don't turn them in.
Right.
You don't turn them in, so you can just violate somebody else. So for me, bro, like black men, black women, but black women for me is taking it way too far, bro. And at the rate that they're killing men and women, man, it is.
Mm.
I really try to like. I have to
You
be
gotta laugh it off,
to a
like
degree,
real,
man.
man.
But yo,
I
dude,
mean,
I don't know, man. I don't know how much. I'm like you said, we can only be bullied for so long. You ain't gonna be victimizing our women. You ain't gonna be victimizing my brothers and my nephews and my sons and my uncles. And I ain't gonna front, bro. I'm hot. I'm 38 hot, man.
yeah.
Especially talking about killing a black woman. Like I come from a spirit of of Nat Turner, man. I'm like I really it's a chore to
I
hold it
mean,
together a lot of the time.
Yeah, for
I
sure.
mean, if they could run up in a black woman's house and shoot her in her own house, man.
Yep. Oh,
Come on, man. This is
oh,
when
Scary.
this is when things are are starting to boil over. It's heartbreaking, and it makes people extremely angry.
extremely.
We should have did this for her because that was
Yeah.
hard. That was really hard to deal with. And when they run up in a black woman's when they run up in a queen's house and kill her in her own throne. That's crazy.
Yep. Yep. All these
Yeah.
gangbangers are
It
sitting around just chilling. Like yo,
Yeah.
dude, man.
don't get me started.
And these gangbangers sitting around chilling while black women, like, dude, you procreate with these black women. These are your mothers, your sisters. How is it that y'all sitting around? You sacrificing yourself for this dude? How about sacrifice yourself for at least this woman and these 5 women right
Yeah.
here might be saved by you losing or going to prison for the rest of your life? 'Cause that's what you're doing anyway. Like, dude, I'm mad as shit, bro. Like,
Yeah,
they
man.
Yeah, it's heavy.
Tired of
and
change,
this gonna
man.
be the last thing I'm gonna say, and I'm off this, man. I've been like, all these dudes that's out here that's about this life, that's out here showing these hammers, and they flashing all this bread, and they doing all of this, man. There's no reason why a lot of these people should be making it even to the court system. Bottom line. Um,
Right.
do when you
Yep.
victimize a black person to the degree where it's egregious, then all the gang members in that area need to flood that area and run everybody out of there. Period. Period.
Yep.
And that's what I don't understand about gang culture and black men in general. Like, and I was so happy to see the armed black men walking the mayor to work. Like, yo, man, something got changed, man. I ain't with it.
Yeah.
Yep. They
Well, I
say when
ain't,
every black
well, I ain't
they
gonna.
say when every black man in America get a gun, then they're gonna change everything, the laws.
Now, sacrifice. If you're gonna sacrifice yourself, if you're gonna, my thing is this: if a nigga step on your sneakers and you're gonna kill him outside the club, then how about you don't kill that black man outside the club and you go and find George Zimmerman's punk ass?
I am so shocked that he's still alive.
Hey,
I
hey,
am
listen,
extremely
listen,
shocked that
listen,
he's
listen.
still alive.
Listen, we ain't gonna slice. We can't slice and dice like the 90-minute tape, fellas. And you know we can do it, but right now,
You froze up, Q.
Are they trying to silence us already?
Getting too hot in here. They say.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, man. Yo, guys, this was amazing.
Yes, it was.
I appreciate this platform to be able to have this conversation. Of course, we could sit here for the next however long talking about that. I'm just gonna get more and more mad as we go along, man.
Yeah, same here.
Yeah, man.
I appreciate you, brothers, man. I mean, I think we'll try to do at least do something once a month just for the brothers, man. And we'll have some other things going on with we interject with the ladies and see what kind of conversations we'll have. But I look forward to the future, and I
Yep.
appreciate you guys signing on and coming through, man. And all the
Same here, man. Same here.
Yeah,
listeners and
I'm just
watchers,
happy to be here.
please come back, check us out. We just trying to bring some views and see what people have to say about them and give our best effort to talking about it, man. So thank you guys for coming,
Right.
man. I
Thank
appreciate
you.
Yeah,
Yep. Thank
no
you guys as
doubt.
well. Nice meeting you guys.
it. Take it
Yeah,
easy.
nice to meet
Have a
y'all.
good
All
night.
right. Have a good one. Good night.
You got it.
Peace.